You're going to want to have a, we'll cover the background and all that stuff later.
Oh, I should do that, yeah.
But if you look down here where it says share, the big green thing that says share right below, 1 inch to the left of your cursor, right there, share, click that, and it's going to say, what do you want to share? And see, you can share that or that. So that's the one you want to share. And then there's a share button down the lower right-hand corner. So now what's happening is everybody is now seeing that screen. And so if you have the presentation formula going, okay, click, you know, how to press the presentation. Now here's what I don't know is actually we have to change this. The way the presentation is set up, it's going to show this, not that. And that's a bit of a problem.
We don't want to see this.
No, we don't. So we need to stop, and I need to figure out how to fix this right away. I really don't know.
Okay. I'm gonna set the screen up while you're doing that.
Good. All right, swap displays. I think hopefully it's that easy. Sweet, I just figured it out. It was one click of the button. Yes. Okay. Do you want to, are you going to put this up first?
Well, I was.
Okay.
Should I put that finishing blind down?
Well, it's going to be hidden, I'm pretty sure. Let me get my coffee out of here. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll move this part if you move that part.
Okay, got it.
Okay. And
I think it's got to be over more to the left. I ran into this yesterday.
okay.
And I think the screen, the finishing blind should be all the way down.
Okay, we'll fix that. So right now, I just want you to look at something. See where it says, you know, it says.
We need the video of me over here.
Well, understand? No, that's just.
I want them to see me.
Well, they will be seeing you. Well, we can move that over there. But I'm not so sure if that's the case. They're going to be seeing. We'll have to test this out. Let me just set it right there for right now. This doesn't have any indication of them seeing you or not. This tells us the camera's working, and it tells us that yes,
okay.
we do need to.
I need you to put the finishing blind down first.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So.
Okay, it's got to go way over.
There you go. You're good. Now this got to come over this way.
Yeah.
And
I think maybe so. This light needs to go on, and
one step at a time, honey. One step at a time.
Other light on. It's probably better shut. What do you think? So it doesn't put any kind of lines on me?
Yeah, it looks really bright right now. To close it. Yeah, the lighting, let's turn that on, see what that does.
It's just this left button, right?
I think so. Did it? Yeah.
I just recharged it and put it back in here. Maybe I didn't put it in right.
Just a second. It's that left button. Hold it. It's not charged.
Tim, I just charged it.
Oh,
so maybe the battery's in wrong.
Okay. There we go. There you go. Let me just.
So this is not plugged in. Do we need this little light?
I don't know why the lighting seems excessively bright. I don't know why.
Well, we can turn down the.
Turn that light off up here. Let me. If you could see how that changes it. I don't know. It's turn that light off now.
No, I'm not going to turn it off.
Okay.
I'll turn it down. I don't need to turn it off.
I don't know why there's just a lot of reflective light.
Let me sit there.
Yeah, you'll see what it looks like. Good. Maybe you just look better. Oh yeah, you do look better. I don't know why my face was reflecting lots of light.
Well, it seems like I've got a lot of light on me.
Yeah, you have plenty.
Is it too much? That's the question.
Yeah, it's just another way to deal with that is to bounce the light and do like this. Did that change it?
I think so. Come take a look. I think.
Well, I can see from here. Like I'm looking at the thing. Yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. We may have to, at a later time, replace this bulb with a more natural lighted bulb. So my concern about your picture being there, and we'll have to test this, and we're running out of time now, is will they, if you put that there, and we've shared the screen, will they see this and this and another version of you? So I don't know. So we have to test it. So is she going to log into this thing?
In 5 minutes.
Into the event, and that's how you guys are going to connect, or?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'd like to see if I can
so if I go to the next, how do I go to the next one?
Well, the way you would normally advance the
like
slide.
that?
No. How would you do, well, you could, but how would you normally advance the slide?
I don't know. I don't remember.
That's weird. Put your cursor back over here. It looks like that works. There, yeah, that worked. Usually.
Okay, so here's my story, and that's where I would want them to see me.
Right. So let's try these arrows. Don't do anything. There we go. See these arrows right here?
Okay.
That's probably going to be your easiest best. You can go back and forth with that.
Got it.
So let's imagine you could start. Oops.
So that didn't. Okay.
Okay. So let's imagine you start with there, or not. I mean, this could be the opening until you stop sharing. So let's imagine that's like they've arrived. They're seeing that, and you're welcoming people, and they'll see your picture, and then but let's say now.
How will they see my picture?
Because the little video will show up in here too. They can do both, and if they have two screens, they can drag that over to the side, just like we did. It's two different images.
Okay.
They're seeing the screen share, but they're also seeing the video.
Got it.
So you want to go now to full you and not have this, right? Remember,
I don't have to. Is it too complicated to do that?
They can try clicking on that big box there to see if it makes your picture bigger. Yeah, it does. So what I would say is to people is, hey, you could drag that around. You can make my picture bigger, or you could, if you said, I'm going to stop sharing the screen because I think might be, what's the word I'm looking for? You want it to be totally focused on you. You could stop sharing your screen. See the big red button that says stop share?
Then what happens?
Then the PowerPoint, it stops sharing the PowerPoint, and they just see you. Do you follow me?
Uh-huh.
And let's say you want to go back to the PowerPoint, and what do you do now?
I don't.
See the green box down here, honey? It says share.
Okay.
You're going to select that. Okay. And what are you going to share?
Okay.
It's giving you some choices. There you go. Double click on it, or there you go.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Oops, what happened here? Ooh, that's not good.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to do that. I want to just
keep it like this.
Yeah,
that's
that's
fine.
You can see how technically challenged I am.
So you can tell people, hey, this picture of you can move around, and they can click on the picture again up here. Click on the picture, please, up here, and then tell them the small big box. They can minimize it, or they can enlarge it using these little boxes here.
Okay.
There is something that they may need to do, and that is you don't want the other people's videos showing up. I believe we set this up so that their video is not on.
Okay.
So what we want
to do we go back and how do we check that?
I have to go and look at the settings. I'm pretty sure that's the case, but people can turn on their own videos and their own audio themselves. So you're going to need to tell them, be sure to turn off, you want to write this note down? Be sure to turn your video and your audio off. And they can do that And I would suggest maybe if you stop sharing right now, we can see the controls that they'll be seeing.
I'm not following you.
Okay, wait a second. As soon as you finish that.
So why am I telling them to turn their video on?
Because they can turn their video on and their audio on and be stepping onto your presentation.
Okay.
So stop sharing the screen for right now. Okay, just give it a moment. All right, so from the control wise, there's, oh, it's recording right now. We got to stop the recording.
Where's the recording?
It's right there. Just pause it. You just click, no, click,
Tim, move your hand.
click the pause button.
Is that this one?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we got the recording on now. Anything else, Kristen?
Nope, you're going to be amazing.
Thanks.
Thank you for your help, Kristen.
You're welcome.
So let's see. And also, I gave you, I've got my cell phone on and Tim's in case there's any reason you have to get a hold of us.
Yeah, I'll be
Will
standing
do.
on the side, Kristen. If something comes up or something, you can text me or I'll be right next door.
Yeah, just text me and I'll work through whatever you need me to focus on. But I'll keep in mind the chat and let you know of any questions, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Okay, so.
Yeah, I don't know. She actually doesn't have her chat window open right now. Click.
I would recommend opening it somewhere because people are going to possibly use that.
Okay, let's chat. Okay, now drag that over here, the chat window, not the chat window.
Okay. Got it.
Perfect. Now, you could drag both of them even further over, or whatever. And now you can see any chat that's going on. You could chat to everyone, or you could chat in the drop down to just
Okay.
a participant. You have two people on.
So why don't we get on and we'll get going?
Yeah.
Hi, Carrie and Marina, who are here early. I love that. I'm so happy to have you here today. Two of my favorite people that I've coached. And we have excitement in Sonoma County. Carrie will relate to this since she works at a insurance company. It looks like we have a fire starting somewhere in the county, and so far it doesn't impact me, but if it does get to that point, then that means the power will go off. So we'll hope that the fire gets contained and that doesn't happen. But if it all of a sudden stops, that will be the reason that it's happening. And so the two people that are here so far, you know a lot about me. You know my background. I've been coaching for a long time, and I'm going to start off by telling you a story about myself. But the thing that I want to tell you is that we will be covering some things that really, really will help you to get rid of limiting or false beliefs. And since both of the two people that are here so far are in leadership roles, I can tell you that it will help you with people that work for you, help you to understand when they've gotten off base or somehow are not doing what they need to do. So lots of good advice and a handout. Can you tell me if you all received the handout? Do all of you have the handout? If you could tell me that in the chat window, I'd appreciate it. And hi, Vanessa. Got a big smile on my face. So happy to see you here. So you can even turn your mic on and tell me, or you can chat, either one.
I did not receive it, Sabrina, just so you know.
Okay. So Kristen didn't get it. And hi, Tish. Nice to have you here. we're just getting ready to get started. Vanessa, you're in Sonoma County, so I'll mention there's a fire someplace. It's not close. We have pretty high winds. If it gets close, then of course the power will go out. So, but we're going to assume we're going to be able to do this, and I'm so happy to have you all here today. I'm going to move. Can you guys let me know? Can you see me now? This is new for me to do the Zoom. So, can you let me know if you can see me?
I can see you and the PowerPoint.
Okay, thank you. So, get out some paper, your pencils, some way to write down. If you have the handout, please put that up. If you don't, so Marina says she's got the handout, but she can't participate because there's people around her. So she's doing a stealth webinar right now. So thanks, Marina. That's really very courageous of you. Appreciate that. So, and also, Tim, when you come on, could you please put the link to the handout in case somebody doesn't have the handout? And Kristen is my co-host and my wonderful admin. And Kristen, can you share some things with people about what would be helpful today?
Yes. So Zoom normally produces 2 screens when you log on. So I would like it if people could kind of separate the screens so they can see both Sabrina and her PowerPoint if possible. Sometimes it's a little difficult when you're working off a laptop, but it is doable if you can. And then you can see the participants and you can see the presentation at the same time.
Okay, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So when I was 5 years old, I had magic powers. If I saw a flower, I would think about a butterfly, and a butterfly would land right on the flower. I wish I had a puppy, and then the next day there was a puppy in our house. So everything was very magical. I was very curious. It was wonderful. Fast forward, I'm 12 years old. I'm going to junior high in one of the roughest junior highs in East Los Angeles. And there's an announcement over the loudspeaker. And the announcement is, we are proud to announce of all the students in 7th grade, the best behaved student in 7th grade is Sabrina Braham. Now, if you can imagine being at a really rough school and having them announce that you are the best behaved, suddenly I had the attention of everybody in the whole room. They're looking at me with dirty looks. And it's the absolute worst day of my life. I had spent the whole year working to be invisible. Here I was, overweight, acne all over my face. And thanks to being really poor, my mother bought our clothes at an outlet for fat and ugly kids. And I was wearing one of those 2 outfits that day, trying to be invisible. And now I was not only invisible, I was also disliked by a bunch of people. I was wanting friends, and now there was a bunch of people I was on their list. So I didn't feel good about myself, and what the teachers thought was really good behavior was me trying to find a way to be not noticed by anybody. And of course, my cover had just gotten blown. Fast forward, I'm in high school, and my limiting and very false beliefs about myself had grown. Now I was doing really, really badly in high school. I was getting all C's and D's and F's, not doing well at all. I thought I was ugly. I thought I was stupid, not capable of doing anything. And what I ended up doing, which what a not capable, stupid, ugly person would do when they graduate from high school was I got married right away. I got married, I had a couple kids, and I ended up working in a part-time job that was kind of dead end. I kept thinking, there's got to be more to this. What happened to my superpowers? What happened to all the things I thought was possible when I was little? And one day I got this idea, and I went to the university, Cal State Fullerton University, and I signed up. I enrolled for classes, much to the surprise of my husband and my mother and father. I signed up for classes. I thought they were so exciting. I spent the whole week in classes. We had an exam in every class. And at the end of the week, we got the exam back in every class. And as the exam paper came to me, my body got colder. The lump got bigger in my stomach because there was a big red F on every single exam. I was really, really upset, and I decided, well, maybe there's something I can do about it, but I'll check with my family, my husband. I went home. There's my mom, my dad, who was kind of Archie Bunker personified with a cigar in his mouth, and my husband all there. And I said, I flunked a test in every single class, and I'm not sure what to do. And my dad, who deeply loved me, said, "Hun, you just ain't good at street smarts. You're good at street smarts. You're just not good at school stuff." And I got a really good friend. He's in charge of the bus department, and he can get you a job as a city bus driver. And Marina, you can relate to this since you live in that area. He said, "It's got good benefits. You'll really like it. It's a good way to make a living." So I went the next day to the university, and I went to Dr. Schweitzer's office, one of my professors, and I said, "I'm checking out." He said, why are you, what class are you in? I said, "Your 11 o'clock class." He said, "That's funny. I've never seen you. Why are you checking out?" I said, "Well, I'm not smart enough to do the work. I flunked a test in every single one of my classes." He said, "That's funny. Have you ever asked a question?" I said, "Well, no, I can't ask a question because my questions are really stupid." He said, "Well, for every stupid question you have, 12 other people in the room have the same question. Would you like to learn how to be successful in college?" I said, "Well, yes." He said, "Okay, you're not checking out. You're going to come to my class every day, and you're moving to the front row, and you're going to ask a question every day, and you'll be in my office every afternoon, and I'm going to teach you what to do to be successful." Well, that totally changed what happened. I ended up graduating with, in my bachelor's with a 3.9. I graduated in psychology and in my master's program with a 3.8. I became a psychotherapist. I got a master's level degree in executive coaching. I got certified in for positive psychology and became a mentor coach. And for the last 20 years, I've done all kinds of work. I've worked at Farmers Insurance, Stanford University, Amgen, Autodesk, State of California, Army Corps of Engineers, and I have an award-winning radio show, Women's Leadership Success, and I've authored 2 books. This was the beginning of finding out how to not sabotage myself, but it ended up being my passion, and my drive in life was, how could I help people get rid of their false beliefs, get rid of anything that's sabotaging their career, and be really, really successful. And so that's what I've spent the last 25 years studying and learning, and the information that I'm going to share with you today. Hi, Nils. Thanks for joining us. So we're going to talk about false beliefs that destroy your confidence, master keys to change those beliefs, the power of visualization, a 3-step formula for rewiring your brain and action steps to further your success. And I know that sounds like a lot. It is a lot, but you have a handout, and we're going to be able to cover this. And if you want more information later, I'm glad to help you with that. So we're going to help you to develop new beliefs, to be more confident, how to put those beliefs into action, how to see yourself achieving your goals and helping your career, and new action steps that can help you along the way. So when you learn to get rid of false beliefs, it really helps you to advance your career, to increase your income, to have more influence in your company, to even get the kinds of jobs you want, to be more engaged, and really to be more authentic. Because, you know, when we have false and limiting beliefs, if I'm going around telling everybody how stupid I am, it's really hard for them to see who I really am or what I'm capable of. So it really helps. This is somebody in one of the companies sent me an email recently. He said, no, haven't talked to you in a long time. Just wanted to share I recently was promoted to director from manager. It took 2 attempts, but I made it. I couldn't have done it without you. And that's the wonderful kind of mail that I get with this kind of thing. So if you criticize yourself, if you say things that are false, and I'm going to be talking about this later, but one of the ways you can know if you have a false or limiting belief is you don't feel good about yourself, you feel depressed, you feel kind of stuck, and it leads to you not feeling confident and not taking action. It prevents you from taking risks to get a promotion, and especially for women, and there are 2 men on the call today, but what you find is that women tend to not take risks. They aren't trained to take risks, and if you don't take risks, you won't be successful, and you will not get promoted. So it really blindsides your motivation and moving forward. When you're getting rid of the false beliefs, it really increases your confidence. It helps you to be more successful, more optimistic, more engaged, and it builds on itself. So the more you get rid of the false beliefs, the more you take risks and try new things, the more confident you get, the more competent you get. So I've developed a unique technique over the years that will help develop superpower beliefs and your self-confidence, and that's what I'm going to be sharing with you. And what we're talking about first is those false beliefs that destroy your confidence. And Marina and Vanessa, if you could shut your audio off.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize that was on. I'm so sorry. Oh, Lord. I'm so sorry.
No, you just wanted to say something. I know. So the first false belief, and there's about 10 of them basically, and we're only going to talk about 3 of them today because the challenge with having an hour to do everything is how do we do all of that. So the false belief number 1 is that's just the way I am. This is a really common one, even as you're listening to people today, people that work for you or people that are around you. People think a lot of these false beliefs or limiting beliefs are actually hardwired. They think, I was born that way. It's genetic. I can give you one. My mother always said nobody in our family is good at math, and I actually believed that until I got an A in algebra. So we think, oh, it's a genetic thing, right? I'm not smart enough. I'm not smart enough to go to college. Nobody in my family is smart. It's genetic. So that's one belief that really messes people up. And if you can relate to that, see if you can write something down if you can think of one like that. Do you believe you're not capable? Do you get discouraged? Do you think there's nothing you can do about it? That's just the way I am. Sometimes we say I can't speak up in meetings, a really common one for people in leadership roles. No one in my family is good at math. I'm scared of confrontations. I just say stupid things. See, like scared of confrontations. Well, these are all muscles that one can develop. And that's what happens when you get rid of the false beliefs. So does anybody that's on the call, can you raise your hand or make a comment in the chat if you can think of one? So here's another person that wrote in: when I started practicing noticing my false beliefs and changing my thinking, it took a lot of effort. I've been following your method for 3 months, and doing the practice is now very organic. I feel confident in my communication with my boss and my direct reports. So that's our goal for you today, that the master key is you can change your beliefs and your behavior. You can be more confident. And there's a lot of scientific evidence that proves that you can do that. The next belief, this false belief, is I've tried and nothing works. Have you ever read a book about confidence and you still don't know how to do it? One of the things I find interesting about self-help books is how often they really get you believing you want to do it, but they don't really show you the method to do it. And I really believe it's so important to give people the method. And I know the methods, and I'm going to teach it to you today. So you tried to act more confident and somebody put you down. You failed an examination or a certificate over and over again. I'm thinking of one guy that I worked with who had flunked the automobile licensing test exam 36 times. Now, I'm sure I think everybody on this call has a driver's license, and you could go, how is that possible? I mean, and this guy was actually super smart. So it was really interesting. He flunked it 36 times, and boy, he really had a belief that he couldn't do it. And by the time he took the test the next time, he passed it. And I've had that happen several times. Some kind of professional exam a person has to take, and they don't do well on it. And it's some kind of belief they have about that, or some way that they're studying that actually doesn't work, and that they need to do it a different way. So again, if you've tried and nothing works, if you can think of one of those, mark it down. It's good for you to know. So if you tried and nothing works, you want to get a new strategy or new advice. You need to know what your objective or goal is. And this comes into visioning too, because when you start to rewire things, you have to be able to vision what it would be like if you were able to do it, or you didn't have the negative or limiting belief. And you need to focus and take action one step at a time. Years ago, I was doing psychotherapy, and I had a woman come in who told me she was super upset because she couldn't bake a cake. And her whole life, the only thing she wanted to be able to do was bake a cake, but she was not good at it. And she was crying so hard, she used almost a box of Kleenex up. And I'm looking at the clock. I see we have 5 minutes left. I'm going, oh my gosh, I've got people in the waiting room. She's really upset. And I asked her a question. I said, well, how many cakes have you made? And she looked up and she said, well, I made one and it burnt. That's pretty hilarious, right? But how many times do we try something we haven't done before, whether it's speak up in a meeting, have the courage to take a risk, or do something and we do it less than perfect and we think, oh, okay, I'm not good at that. Hey, it just means you need to take action and take one step at a time and keep practicing it until you get better. And at some point, I'll be doing a workshop on deliberate practice, and we'll share some more very, very clever and unique ways to achieve goals much, much faster, but not today. So false belief. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough to speak in public. My my mom and dad don't love me, so I'm not lovable. There's just a bunch of things that fall into that category. And when I'm not good enough, it means I'm never satisfied. Maybe I'm a perfectionist. I have some belief that I'm supposed to be perfect. Because it's never quite the way I want it, that means I can't ever celebrate. I'm always frustrated with myself. I feel stressed all the time. And all of these things, as you listen to this, you can see that if you are doing that, you are really going to block your ability to improve and get better. And that's noticing what we're not doing right, finding a way to do it differently, whether it's a false belief or an actual physical thing we're doing, and then finding some way to reward ourselves is what really moves us ahead. So then the not good enough, it can be really internal. People said I did good, but it's not really true. I'm not good enough. I'm either apologizing or I'm irritated with myself or other people. And I know there's somebody on this call who makes a point of apologizing every time they make a mistake, and it's not helpful. And Teresa, thanks for being here and joining us. So that's false belief number 3. So if you have the belief that you're not good enough, one of the things that is so important to remember is that mistakes are your most valuable way of learning. If you hold that anytime you make a mistake or you could have done better, that there's some important thing for you to learn there, that will really help you to be very, very successful in your life. It will help you actually achieve more than you thought was possible. And if you find a way to celebrate your little wins, and that a lot of times when I'm working with people, and even if you go to my website, you can download this. I have a thing on how to measure a 1 to 10 goal, on a 1 to 10, where are you right now? And can you improve that 0.5? Can you improve it a little tiny bit? That's what's really, really helpful to do. So if one doesn't pay attention and start noticing their false and limiting beliefs, you'll keep spinning your wheels, you'll have trouble making the right decision, you'll be afraid to take on challenges for fear of failing, you'll be quiet in meetings. I mean, there's no way to start speaking up in meetings without saying it not exactly perfectly. You'll be confused why people with less talent get promoted before you do. And you'll keep, this is a big one when I'm coaching people in companies. You try to figure out what other people are thinking and what they want you to say instead of really getting good at your very own ideas. So when you learn how to get rid of these negative beliefs, which I'm going to teach you how to do here in just a few minutes, you're going to feel better about yourself. You're going to be able to handle criticism with curiosity and interest. It's no longer a deep flaw in you. It's just something that you have to correct or change. Sometimes it's just the other person's perception of you. It may not be anything you're doing wrong. And that's another seminar I'll be teaching you down in the future. And you'll be excited about what you can achieve in the future. And you'll be standing in your power. You'll be able to love yourself more. You'll come across as authentic, and you'll have more clarity about how to get promoted or how to help other people that work for you get promoted. So what if you could hack into your brain and rewire it to be yourself to be more successful and confident? Well, the reality is that you can do that. What neuroscience tells us is your brain is plastic. And if any of you are thinking maybe other people's are, but maybe yours aren't, I want to really encourage you and let you know that, no, you can change your brain too. You can actually rewire your brain so that your thinking is more positive, so that you will become more confident, and you will not be putting your own barriers in your way. You know, I think it was it Pogo? One of the comic strip characters said, how do you succeed when the enemy is in your brain? And that's what we're wanting to do, is get rid of that internal enemy. So why does the brain lock up? And if you have your handout, on page 2, there's some things that you might want to be looking at with that. So why does it lock up? The brain has been wired with a negative bias. That means that for tens of thousands of years, in order to survive, the caveman or cavewoman had to notice, is there a lion coming? Is the flood coming? What's happening that could cause me a problem? So we have a negative bias. And that means that we tend to think negatively a lot. And and what it does is it's that freeze, fight, or flight. You know, we're always kind of in defensive mode in our just natural state. And we can actually learn to rewire that. And when we rewire the brain, it requires the 10-second rule. And the 10-second rule means the new thought requires that we hold it for 10 seconds. And we're going to go into this in more detail, but I actually recommend that you take your iPhone and time 10 seconds, because when you're putting a new positive thought or affirmation in your head, actually 10 seconds is a lot. And you can think at one time, or you can just be saying it over and over again, or you can even write it down. So let me see, does anybody have any questions? Oh, I see that Tourism Tim has put down the link to the handout. So if you don't have the handout, you might want to download it, because it'll give you some ideas, some things you can do later, some action steps. So here's the 3 easy steps to begin to change that. First is identifying the limiting or negative thought or false belief that you have. And then you need to come up with the opposite. That means the opposite to I'm not good at math. It could be something like, I'm really good at math. I need to just learn it step by step. Sometimes this is hard for people because they have been so trained to think of the negative, it's hard to think of the positive. So if you're leading other people, you could think of what you would say to your direct report, what you might say to a small child if the small child was not feeling confident. Although the really interesting thing about really small children is they haven't totally been wired that way. You know, when we're born, we're only born with 2 fears. We're born with the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. That's right. We only have the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises, and all those other fears are false beliefs that we've put in our heads that can be changed. So come up with a different one. If you have a challenge with that, you've got my email there. You've got you can text me. I would be glad to help you figure out one that you can use that there. So you identify the false belief. You come up with a new one. I'm good at math. I need to take it step by step. And then the rewire is taking the 10 seconds and saying it over and over again. This is really important. After you do that, it's important to celebrate. Give yourself a pat on the shoulder, do a little cheer up in the sky, do a yes, whatever you can to have a visceral body response to I'm moving in the right direction. And that recharges you, and you go about your life, and then that begins to change things. Now, how do you know if you you've gotten triggered. You know, sometimes, do you feel like somebody pushed a button? Somebody said something to you and now you're in a bad mood. I had somebody tell me yesterday that they were working with a customer that was really irate and unhappy, and normally it doesn't affect them, but man, this one really got to him. It pushed a button. So it could push the button in you. You feel like you got your inner passion sucked out. You don't feel as good about yourself. You feel exhausted. You feel super tired. You feel like, man, you'd like a drink, an alcoholic drink or something. There's some, or you want to go eat a bunch of food. That's another thing that might happen. You don't feel motivated to go ahead and do the task you were doing. You feel depressed. You doubt your ability, or your self-critic says mean things to you. And most of us have a fairly active self-critic. So that's really important to get where you notice that. And when you notice that, you want, as much as you can, you want to change that. You might not be able to do it right at the time, but let's say if your inner critic is saying, well, that was a stupid thing to say to my boss, or wow, now I'm in trouble because they told me I wasn't doing it right. Whatever that limiting belief is, write it down so that you can work on it later. And then you can act as if you're coaching someone else you care about, a child or somebody else. And what would you say to them? Or what would Sabrina say to you? What would be a positive thing she might say to you? And notice how different that thing that they say is from your self-critic. So try out this new coach approach on yourself. Rewire your brain by coming up with a positive response to your imperfection. Hold that new response for 10 seconds and celebrate. It amplifies the power of the rewiring. It injects dopamine into the brain, the good feeling chemical. It reinforces and reminds you of your success. And the more you can make it physical, the better. So just that high five to somebody else, taking a victory stance. Yes, I'm powerful. Whatever you can do to reinforce it. I grew up with Wonder Woman being one of my my role models, so I love the Wonder Woman model and the whole thought. I think I'm powerful. I have hundreds of little Wonder Women running around in me, pumping me up, giving me energy, making me laugh, learning from my failures and pointing out my successes. For most of us, that's a big shift. Giving myself energy, making me laugh, you know, not such a big deal. It's kind of funny. Even if it's not funny now, maybe it will be in a year from now. Learning from my failures and noticing when I did something right, noticing my successes. So again, we did false beliefs, master keys to change that, a little more on the visualization. Anytime you can visualize that positive outcome or that positive way of being, that really helps to rewire the brain. So do that. Follow the 3-step formula. And so all the things I just said. And on your handout, you have this. So make a list of the false and limiting beliefs you have. For each limiting belief, write down a positive thing that counters the old belief. And you every time you do the 10-second thing, look at it. Maybe you'll keep revising it. So the first time you do it is, well, I'm smarter than some people. And then as you keep doing it, what you'll notice is, wow, I'm getting smarter. Wow, I'm getting better at speaking up in meetings. I'm handling those irate customers better. When you notice that you're feeling bad, discouraged, or stuck, ask yourself what limiting belief has come into play and write that down so that you can work on that later. I have a wonderful free quiz you can take. It's on leadership and career development, and it's careerdevelopmentquiz.com if you just want to write it down. It takes about 4 minutes to take it, and it's a great way to see where you are in your leadership development and what things you might want to increase. I'll be doing another free webinar on December the 6th at noon. Communicate like a leader, increase your impact and influence. I hope you can all make it, and if you know somebody else that you could invite, I would love to have some more people on the call. That would be really, really wonderful. And if you have any questions or need more help, you can just either call me or text me at my cell phone, which is 707-481-6850. And I want to thank all of you for being here today. It's been a pleasure having you here. Does anybody have any questions? Any questions they would like to ask? I like, Niels says, we have met the enemy and he is us. Who said that? Do you remember, Niels? Was that, it was a comic strip character, but I don't remember who it was. Pogo. I was correct, it was Pogo. By Walt Kelly. We have a brilliant person on the call, even knows the name of the cartoonist. Thank you. And Carrie says, what was the website for career development quiz again? Let me just back that up so you can see it. Let's see. It's careerdevelopmentquiz.com, and it's free, and you'll get a little report back that will tell you how you're doing. And if you need any more information, just let me know, and I would be glad to help you with that. And again, thank you very, very much for showing up and being part of this today. I really, really appreciate it. So thanks, Marina and Niels and Teresa, Vanessa, Tim, and Kristen. And I'm going to say goodbye for now. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Take care and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Sabrina.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Sabrina.
Thanks. Okay, so let's see. How do we end this? So we stop the video. Do we? So have we got everybody off the call except?
I'm here.
Okay. Do you want to?
Oh, is everybody off?
Yeah. You want to come
Okay.
over here? Or do you want to do
Sure.
it from there?
I could do it from there.
Okay.
Technology.
Okay. How do we get my picture back up here?
You turn your camera back on.
Okay. Oh, no, start video. Okay.
And, oh, turn off the recording.